One time for the fan, one time for the fan, one time for the fan. But we got some special guests tonight. Big Low Country Sports is in the building. Alberto from 95 North will be here shortly. Chase, Bodie 3000, it's the pop-up show. We got a lot to go over, so we're going ahead and crank it up real quick. Country, this your first time being a part of the intro.
Yeah, man, what in the world, Bo? I guess, man.
Hey,
I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Grab a pen and a paper and get a 16 together.
Uh-oh.
Want to hear some bars in a minute.
Oh, hey, I you ain't said nothing but a word, but I don't need a pen. It's coming out the top.
Falcon Fed, let's get straight to it. Let's start the podcast, y'all. Yeah, that's the fun part. That's what we talk Falcons football. Big Low Country Sports is here with us, joining us tonight. Alberto will be here shortly. Chase is in the building. Bodie 3000 is here in the building. Wait, Uber's pulling up. What's that lift? Nope, that's the lift. Man, $72 for 3 miles? Hey, I told him, man, don't do the lift on the surge, man.
Man,
did it anyway.
What up, fellas?
Good.
Alberto's in the building.
Gentlemen,
95 North Falcons talk shows in the building.
What's good, Burrow?
What's up, man? Big Low, what's going on, Big Low?
What in the world, Bo? What's going
Throw
on?
them ones up, Big Low.
Throw them ones up. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, Berto.
I know. I was mad too when he won. Okay,
Yeah,
I was
pissed, man.
So, Bodie, this is I'm guessing we're talking about the wrestling here, right, fellas? WrestleMania?
Facts. Last week.
Yeah,
Bodie
we ain't talking
mentioned
about you
going
winning
to-
the quarterback job. That's the damn sure.
QB4 is still open. I told you we can run 8 quarterbacks. Somebody told me I'm QB8 yesterday. I said, shit, I guess we're running 8 quarterbacks. Somebody getting cut. But I'm on that field week 1. I know that.
I mean,
Bodie, I know you mentioned with
Waters.
WrestleMania, you wanted to go to WrestleMania next year. It's in Philly, right?
Philly, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually want to attend. Hold on, I got something for you, Berto.
What up?
Wait a minute.
Okay. Well, before we get started on our pop-up show here, we're gonna have a little show and tell. I guess Bodie's gonna. Okay, he got the Hulkamania belt.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's
Let's
dope.
because we got 5 people on the team, we're gonna do a lot of solo
Man,
layouts.
Yo,
tonight.
jump on going on right
We're
now,
gonna do
man.
a lot of layouts tonight. What is this?
Yeah, that's the
There's a lot going on here.
I'm gonna sit right
There's a
here.
lot going on. Alberto,
Yes, sir.
95 North Falcons talk shows in the building. Big Low Country Sports is in the building.
do it.
Chase, Bodie from One Time for the Fan is here.
Yes,
Before
sir.
we get started, y'all, Alberto, going over to you. Just give a little bit about yourself and about your podcast, what you got going on over there on your platform, sir.
Yeah, man. Falcons content all the way through, man. 95 North Falcons Talk Show on YouTube. I got another platform on Twitter also, Alright Falcons. You can at me on there. Another way to, interact with me, ask questions. I'll drop videos whenever I have time, pertaining to the questions. But yeah, man, that's what we're doing over there, man. It's a passion. It's fun. I love collaborating with folks, man. It's an awesome thing, man, for sure.
Diehard Atlanta Falcons fan.
Oh,
That's what we love
facts.
bringing to the podcast here. And Falcon fans love when we bring guests on the show. And it's always good to have you here to take a couple minutes out of your day to talk some Falcons football.
Appreciate
Glad to have you here with us. And of course,
man.
we got the one and only.
Oh,
You can't mention superheroes without mentioning this guy.
Ta-da.
Da-da-da-da. Big Low Country Sports is in the building.
What the
Front
world,
center.
Bo? You already know
How's
what
everything
time it
going,
is.
Country? What in the
man.
world, Bo?
What
It's
the
taking
world,
over.
Bo? Hey, you say you want 16? I give you 16. You want 16? I get it to you right now.
We'll
I'm
do
not
that for
just-
the
Okay, I'm gonna say
pop-up
that.
post-game podcast. We'll do
Okay,
that one for the
because
pop-up
hey,
post-game
boy,
podcast.
I had a fire on my lips. I was finna it was finna come on. I'm not just the lead singer of Southern Silk.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, but
Southern
you know,
Silk.
yeah.
So we're
Oh, yeah.
plugging. We're plugging. Is the album coming soon? What's going on?
I don't know, man. They don't want to
We're
act
trying-
right. I think I might have to go solo.
Wow. He's taking
Jeez.
Bobby Brown approach.
Not
to the
solo,
tip.
dolo.
I might have to go solo, man. They don't want to act right, man.
Oh, man, that's not true, man.
Big Low Country Sports in the building. For all the Falcon fans in the chat that do not know, give us a little bit about what you got going on over there on your platform, sir.
Definitely, man. So my name is Big Low Country Sports. I'm just an old country boy, former football coach that love to sit around and talk about sports. Make sure that you come check us out at Big Low Country Sports. I'm also the future QB1 of the Atlanta Falcons. No matter what Arthur Blank or Arthur Smith or even Desmond Ritter himself tell you, I am that guy. I am
Shots
that guy. Yes, yeah. So don't listen to Jack Spade. I don't need another backup quarterback. We're good. We're good.
Falcon fans in the
man.
chat, welcome. We got the homies in the building. One time for the fans in the building. Chase, how's everything going over there for you, sir? We had a good podcast last night, 2-hour podcast. Now we're back with a pop-up show. So I guess we are getting ready for the season to be started, knowing that we're months away. But how's everything going on for you, sir?
Yeah, man, going good. Can't complain. You know, it's cool. It's been a long day at work. Feels good to come home and talk about some Falcons.
There we go.
It really does, especially if they're a long day of work, and then you still have to cut my grass before the sun goes down. Don't forget about that, sir. We still have that arranged. Bodie 3000 is in the building. I see you got a new hairstyle tonight, 24 hours later. I tell you, this kid and play effect is starting to work on you. What's going on over there, sir?
Hey man, calm down, man. All I know is the champ is here.
Wow.
Boom, 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 boom. The champ is here. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, man.
And we about to talk. We about to debate and talk. So let's get it.
Hey,
Falcon
Bo,
fans, go ahead.
somebody told me that they sent you home from work earlier today. They said that you got naked at work talking about B. John Robinson. What in the
man.
world, Bo?
I was in that thing like
Falcon fans. Something
I
got
ain't
into
gonna lie.
Bodie from that podcast last night
Boy.
It's not out the
because
question,
today
though,
he
man.
woke up, he chose violence
I
in the
did.
chat. And
I woke up this morning. I don't even think I said good morning. I said I think I'm coming around about Bijan, bro.
God damn.
my
Don't lie.
homie came through with the Bijan, the comments, and then the you know what we need to do tonight for this pop-up show.
And I'll explain. That's just Bijan's part of it, but like, I'll explain as we go on.
Pamela Johnson in the chat.
Miss Pam.
Hey, Miss Pam.
Pamela.
Of course, we got the Die Hard Bubba Gump in the chat too as well.
Yeah,
sir.
man, what's up, bro?
What's happening?
Drake True Statements in the chat. He said, "Hey, we get a pop-up show. What's good, fellas?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one timers hold that ones up.
One timers in the building. One timers hashtag one timers hashtag the fan club.
Yeah, man.
Man, cool.
Rob Banks is in the building.
What's going on?
Check this here, Falcons fans. We don't want to take up too much of your Monday night because everybody's out here having a good time. I'm sure. I don't know what's on TV right now, baseball, whatever it is going on, but we got something to talk about because the Twitter boards are lighting up, the Facebook groups are lighting up. Hell, the one time for the fan chat lit up this morning to where we had to do this podcast. And we talked for 2 hours last night about some potential candidates who could be selected by the Atlanta Falcons on draft night. And fans were hitting us up. What do you think about this scenario? What do you think about this scenario? Bodie hit us up this morning with the Bijan Robinson conversation. I dove a little bit into some more tape of Bijan Robinson while at work today, and I was like, this guy is pretty good. So we had to go over some more just draft knowledge for some folks here. And we got Country. I text Country quick, like 3:00 in the afternoon, like, bro, need 30 minutes of your time. Can you do it? You said, sure, let's do it. Hit Alberto up like, bro, can you do it? He said, yeah, let's do it. So I'm glad to have you guys here, Chase as well, and Bodie. Let's talk about some scenarios for draft night. Not for the second round, not for the third, not for the fourth. We're talking about day one.
Mm-hmm.
We're hearing a lot of talk that Jalen Carter might not be there at 8. I'm heavy on Jalen Carter. I know a lot of people here in this chat too, is on the chat and the podcast, is heavy on Jalen Carter. But if he's not here at 8, there's different draft scenarios that could happen. We're hearing talks that Arizona Cardinals had multiple teams calling today to move up to the 3rd spot. We don't know if it's the Falcons, but some fans are saying, hey, guys, if you guys moving up to the 3rd spot, go get Will Anderson. Don't worry about Jalen Carter. Go get Will Anderson. So we want to talk about some draft scenarios tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We did some mocks here, Alberto Country. Mm-hmm. And on our mock, Jalen Carter fell to 8. No trade up, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Fell straight to 8. It's possible that he might not be there at 8. So if so, what would be the next scenario for the Falcons to do? Is it a Tyree Wilson move, going to Alberto with Country, then Chase, we go around? Is it a Tyree Wilson? Is it Bijan Robinson? Is it Peter Skrowski? Will Anderson, if you wanted to trade up? Christian Gonzalez, if you're staying at 8, will Detroit take him at 6? It's a lot going on, but what are you guys thinking right now? Because every day something happens with the Falcons or the NFL where your thoughts change. That's why we had to do this pop-up show tonight. So, Alberto, what are your thoughts about if Carter is not there at 8?
Well, I'm documented, man, as far as the whole getting naked process for Christian Gonzalez, man. That's my guy. Mm-hmm. But, you know, seeing that Casey Hayward's still on the roster, I think the Falcons are content with rolling with Casey Hayward on the outside opposite A.J. Terrell, and having, you know, D. Alford and Darren Hall and the other guys battle it out for nickel. My guy would be Tyree Wilson, man, and here's why. Ellis, Ominyata, and Campbell attribute for 17.5 sacks already on that line. You add Grady 6, we're talking 23.5 sacks. Tyree Wilson in that lineup is essentially bat and cleanup, man. He does most of his damage in the inside as an inside pass rusher. He's better there than he is on the outside. Why? I don't know, but I would definitely run to the podium and turn my card in saying Tyree Wilson at number 8 for the Falcons if he's still there. I just think he's a freaky athlete, man. 6'5", 278 pounds, man. Long kid. He's definitely a matchup nightmare for guards in the inside. So, you know, that pass rush can, you know, turn up on 3rd downs. And truth be told, having all these guys, Caden Ellis, Ominyata, Campbell, Grady, all these guys rushing at one time, man, shit, man. Guess my hair's going, you know, the arms in my head fucking jump up, man, because it's exciting. It's a level of excitement we haven't had in a long time, man. So why not? Tyree Wilson would be the guy.
Falcon fans, if Carter is not there at 8, hearing it from Alberto right here from his stance, Tyree Wilson would be a nice pick here in Atlanta too as well. We're not even going over the roster just yet. Now, I will talk about Jalen Carter, and like I was talking to Country today and Bodie today on why they probably would select Jalen Carter. If you're looking at some of the contracts for some of the players on your D-line, you know, I'll talk about that shortly. But Tyree Wilson would be a nice fit here in Atlanta. Country, your thoughts on if Jalen Carter is not there at 8? What are you looking at? Is it Tyree Wilson for you? Is it Christian? Are you getting butt naked for Christian Gonzalez?
Hey, I love me some Christian Gonzalez. It's like I was telling you earlier today, Jack Spade, Christian Gonzalez on the field with AJ Terrell. It'll be literally like having 2 AJ Terrells on the field. But the thing that we have to acknowledge, and, you know, shouts out to my boy Alberto, because he's a very knowledgeable young man. But I'm just going to go ahead and give you, you know, in my best TI impersonation for objective diversity, I'm going to give you another.
Hey, Siri. She said, I'm
going to give you another route that we could look at, which would be Skoronski. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, think about it. You have Jake Matthews. First of all, we know that those Matthews boys play, you know, up into their late 30s, and they don't miss games. But if Jake Matthews decides to shut it down in the next 2 or 3 years, you have a guy that's already there that you can kick out, who can play. He could be your swing tackle, and he could play guard. Another thing that we got to take into consideration is the fact that you have a young quarterback. You have a Desmond Ridder. You want to protect your guy, right? You don't want to put him in a bad situation. So if a Jalen Carter isn't there, you know, we know that Arthur Smith is an O-line guy. I think Skoronski could legit be a move that we can make to go ahead and shore up that offensive line because, we were looking for moves to be made like Ben Jones or other moves like that really didn't happen. I really feel like getting Skoronski and not dealing with a guy like a Jalen Mayfield or letting him, continue to develop and see if he could get a chance, in training camp. But if you bring in a Skoronski, that will take your whole offense to a whole nother level, which is what we need if we're trying to win this division.
Which is true. And one thing you also want to mention too, look at that O-line now. Jake Matthews was drafted by the Falcons.
6
You
overall.
got Chris Lindstrom, 2 as well. You got Caleb McGarry, 2 as well. Dahlman, 2 as well. I believe they would not hesitate to go get an offensive lineman again. It has worked for them.
Yes,
and the
sir.
line, which you saw from last season, has improved. I think with Desmond Ridder this year, I don't know, the game hasn't started. I mean, week 1 is not here yet, but I think with the run attack, what they had last year, with that run line, that offensive line, and that the pass blocking is going to improve a little bit better this year. But I can see Skoronski too in Atlanta. That is another alternative pick for the Falcons if Carter is not there. He does fit into the Falcons rotation too as well. What they have on that offensive line to be a great pick for the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of people is hating on Skoronski because they don't want to show up on draft night and see an offensive guard get picked. They don't want to see that happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the splashiest move when you drove 30 miles from Woodstock and they picked the guard. You remember the Chris Lindstrom video? I think Kirk Hughes was there in the bands that day, right?
What'd you say?
Chris Lindstrom video when he was selected and people was turning around like, who is this guy? Who is this guy?
That was weird. That was weird.
Chase, you're heavy on Tyree Wilson. You did a YouTube short about him too as well. I think you followed up with what you said last night on the podcast about how he would be a good fit for the Falcons. What is just your thoughts on if Carter is not there? Do you see Tyree Wilson as the fit, or what is your alternative that you have?
Yeah, man. If Jalen Carter's not there at 8, I'm going Tyree Wilson. Just his size, guy 6'6", that size that can dominate on the edge. Not only just a pass rusher, but he's also a dominant run stopper. The guy's physical. He's nose in the dirt. He's got a mad bully push. He's definitely a project. Definitely somebody that I think you could mentor. Calais Campbell, somebody greatly for that. So I'm going Tyree Wilson, no doubt.
Tyree Wilson definitely would be a good fit here in Atlanta. Jalen Carter would be a good fit here in Atlanta too as well. Bodie 3000. We're going to get to Bijan soon, but just your thoughts on if Tyree Wilson could be the pick here in Atlanta. Do you see him as the pick, or where are you heading, Bodie, if it's not Jalen Carter?
I like Tyree Wilson a lot. I mean, the makeup that he is, the long arms, as someone said, the left tackle arms, like that's a disruptor right there. Like he's a big burly body who can get in the way, and he gets back there. He's disruptive. He got a quick first step. I would love that for us, especially, to be mentored under Calais Campbell this year or in Grady. That would be awesome. I would not balk at that pick. I would be happy. I genuinely would be happy, especially being under Ryan Nielsen's under his defense. Like, he will really mold him. I think Ryan Nielsen is really a savant when it comes to finding or developing defensive talent. And I hated to say it because he was on the Saints, but they was killing us, and he was getting sacks over there. Okay, so, and who better to come to here and learn from the likes of Calais and even damn Ryan Nielsen? Like, it would be a home run pick for us. I wouldn't be mad at it if it happened at all.
So for me, I'm perfectly fine with Tyree Wilson, and I'm a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan, so I'm perfectly fine with any pick the Falcons make. Though as a fan, sometimes you question some things, but then again, you're not in the war room with Terry. You don't see what's going on behind the scenes, and you got to roll with what they have going with it, and you got to, talk about it here on the podcast. For Jalen Carter, Country, I talked about it with you. Bodie, I talked about it with you. Look at that defensive line now. Eddie Goldman, 1 year, right? He'll be here for the 1 year.
Yeah.
Calais Campbell, if we don't know if he'll be here for another season after this season too as well, or if he'll be with the Falcons, but that's a 1 year too as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tyquan Graham, do we know the situation with him after this season?
Make it or break it deal.
make it or
I
break
think
it
so.
kind of
Yeah.
situation, right? If you're looking at Amiata, he's here for the 3 years. Grady Jarrett's turning 30 soon. Next year, you could go in there with just Amiata, Carter, and Grady Jarrett on your line,
Yeah.
just to start things off, and then try to build around that too as well. Because you don't know if Campbell's going to be here next season. You don't know if Graham's going to be here next season.
Mhm.
Same thing for Eddie Goldman. So it kind of fits where Carter would be a good pick for me. Tyree Wilson would also be a good pick too. Christian Gonzalez would also be another good pick too as well. Bodie was real heavy about this guy that we have to talk about tonight. It's this guy named Bijan Robinson from Texas, right? And we talked about it last night on the podcast where a running back at 8 right now in this draft, especially in the first round, I mean, the defensive talent, the first 10 picks is through the roof. Through the first 15 picks is through the roof. The defensive talent from edge
Stacked
rusher to cornerback they're stacked. Do you guys see the Bijan Robinson pick? I talked to Country too as well, where your 5th round last year got 1,000 yards. CP is also, coming to the end of his career soon. Bijan would be a nice fit. That 1-2 combo would be crazy in the backfield. Bijan not only just running back, I mean his pass catching abilities too as well, and blocking abilities too as well. I saw the tape on this kid. You can play. But at 8 is what I'm saying. Are we looking to trade back? We can go around again the table too. Country, let's go with you, man. Bijan Robinson. I know Bodie's going to take up about 30 minutes talking about Bijan. He's heavy on Bijan. Probably got a damn Bijan Robinson jersey right now. I went over some of the stats from Bijan at Texas with talking with Bodie, and it's kind of like you can find these running backs in the 3rd and the 4th round. So if you're going to get them at an 8, it's like, huh? But then I saw some of the tape, and I'm like, I can see it happening. Country, what's your thoughts on Bijan Robinson at 8?
Well, I mean, I think one way that we got to kind of look at it is like, how do you want to approach it? It's like, how do you want to build your team? Do you want to build your team where you build on your strengths, or you try to resolve your weaknesses early, right? So I think Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot, they definitely are the type to say, hey, this is a great player and he can help make our team better. I don't see nothing wrong with Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. I could definitely see that happening, But I mean,
are you worried about the Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard effect that could happen later on down the line? Alberto, I see you shaking your head. You get your notes ready because you're coming up next, brother. Get your notes ready. You see anything where you have to pay these guys? How does Tyler feel in that situation where he just did all he could last season as a 5th round pick, getting to the 1st round? I'm not getting to 1,000 yards. And then you have a 1st round pick coming up this year and you use it on a running back. Like, how do you think Tyler feel? Do you get into the shoes of the running back, the mindset of the running back too as well, of how he's feeling? Or it's just like, man, it's just a business. We just roll with it.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all football players, right? So it's like if Tyler Algier, he's looking at Bijan Robinson, or, the guy who I would personally like to have, Jahmyr Gibbs, come in. He's legit saying, okay, so we're bringing in another guy. This doesn't do anything but help the team. I'm going to get a chance to get some rest, and he's going to be out here killing it. Either way, whoever's on the field, we're going to be a threat. So I'm completely confident in my ability to successfully succeed, and I'm pretty sure he is too. So, I mean, we good. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what great teams are. Great teams know that they have a backup that's, that could be a number 1, right? Look at San Francisco back in the day with Jerry Rice and Taylor. I mean, like all over the place, there's great teams with number 1s, the first top 2 spots at the depth chart. So if we got a Bijan Robinson, I would definitely not be mad at it because he's a game-changing running back. Some people say he could be the best running back that comes into the league. Like, if he comes into the league next year, he'll be the best running back stepping onto the field for the first time. So I wouldn't be mad at it.
Draft scenario for Bijan at 8, or are you expecting a trade back? Can you get him between 10 and 15, or you have to get him at 8?
What do the Eagles pick?
10.
Eagles are 10.
He was 10.
The Eagles are
The
bragging.
niggas lost
I
Miles
don't think
Sanders, I
Boston
believe,
has
too,
to.
as well. And I think
Yeah.
Boston Scott is
Yeah.
their next guy.
That's the
in
thing.
this league.
He ain't falling back.
Eagles are around.
Yeah, Eagles gonna get him. Yeah, so if you're gonna get him, you better get him at 8.
Yeah, you got to do it at 8.
How would the NFL react to the Bijan Robinson going to the Falcons at 8, knowing that it wasn't like your top need that you needed? You see, edge was circled first, Then of course they had wide receiver, then they had some other positions, but running back wasn't like the top thing on the Falcons draft board right now. You think how you
NFL's not going to react? They don't react to anything we do.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to react. Like it'll just be like, oh, okay, they got another running back. Nobody even really knows besides everybody with 404, 470 area codes. Nobody really doesn't even know that Tyler Algier got 1,000 yards.
Speak on it.
So yeah, I mean, nobody's going to bat an eye. They're going to be like, oh, they got a really good running back, but nobody's going to say they got 2 good running backs. Nobody's going to say that.
One time for the fan, we're here talking Falcons football with Big Low Kuntry Sports and 95 North. Bodie, I see you getting ready for your talk about Bijan Robinson. We're coming to you, Shirley and Chase. Alberto,
yes,
we saw you earlier. Give us your thoughts here on this Bijan Robinson situation. If Carter's not there, let's go over the draft scenario in your mind, because there's different ways it can pan out. You're looking at quarterbacks going maybe 4 in the top 5 or top 6, however. The Titans might trade up. Cardinals might trade back. We don't know what's going on. But if Carter's not there, if Gonzalez is not there, you're sitting there at 8. Is it Bijan Robinson, sir?
For all we know, the Falcons could possibly be content on what they have on defense now to say, hey, you know what? Nielsen said, I got enough to work with. I think I can work with this. That leaves the door open for, of course, Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson is an ultimate back, man. And I know people are like wary and sketchy about drafting running backs, in the top 10 of the draft. But if you look back at history, man, and the more recent history, 2 running backs went in the top 4, which was Ezekiel Elliott and Leonard Fournette, right? Both of those guys walked into situations in those respected years on those respected teams with nobody behind them. Tony Pollard could have probably extended the lifeline of Ezekiel Elliott now, but now he's out of a team. So really having a Bijan Robinson here, it would be a blessing, because who does he have toting the rock behind him? Tyler Algier. They're gonna be rocking off of one another. It's gonna be similar to what Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman were back in the day, and then you can add in Teron Ward came in and spelled both of those guys, and he was putting in work. CP could play that role, so I'm not against at all if Atlanta decides to go Bijan at 8, man. That's just another weapon for Desmond Ridder, another security blanket for him. He's in his own right an all-purpose back, so to say. So that's just another hands in the backfield that can do damage too. So I'm all for it, man. I'm all for
Don't
it.
want to put you on the spot, but no, Tyree is on the board and Robinson's on the board at 8. What are you doing?
Oh man.
What's going to give you that country? I'm telling you, what's going to give you that ultimate feeling like as a fan where you would just be blessed to see the Falcons make this selection? Carter's gone, Gonzalez is gone, Wilson's on the board, Bijan's on the board.
And we just spoke about Peter Skoronski and stuff like that. Not being the sexy pick. Folks would probably riot if we take a lineman at 8. But to answer your question, I think I would still go Bijan, because there's so much quality depth in this draft as far as linemen. Specifically in the interior, I could find a guy in the second round like a Steve Avila, Andrew Voorhees after he gets healthy, Matt Bergeron out of Syracuse. That's another guy. So there's plenty depth to solidify that left guard position. So getting a guy like Bijan could be the missing piece to the puzzle. So. I'd still go for him. And again, I'd hang my hat on, Nielsen probably being content with what he has on defense right now too. So
Falcon fans, to me, Bijan kind of fits in their way because, with CP coming to the end of his career soon, Tyler Algier had a nice season last year, but you do need to add to that running back room too as well. And if the guys that you wanted defensively is off the board, and the next best player available is that guy sitting over there from Texas, you might have to look into it. And then I wouldn't be surprised with that guard spot being open that second round, Alberta. You do go get your guard. And you're looking at, wait a minute, Falcons got the running back and a guard? Yeah, bro, we finna run the hell out of this ball. You know what I'm saying? Or we finna play that type of scheme where it fits and it fills around Ridder for what he needs. Because you don't want to see Ridder get benched in week 7. Your team is 2-5. You don't want to see that. Falcon fans want to see some wins around here. Bodie 3000, we're going to get to you shortly. Chase, I saw you made the post on your page the other day about Bijan Robinson at 8. Falcon fans responded with no. I'm talking about the post just kept going on and on with comments against do not draft Bijan. We do not need a running back at 8. The draft is deep with running backs in the 2nd and 3rd round. Tajay Spears, you got the young man from Pittsburgh too as well. There's a couple players out here. Did you do any film on the guy from Pittsburgh yet, Alberto? Israel? Can't remember his last name. I don't want to butcher it, but it's Israel something.
What's the school again?
Pittsburgh. Went to Pitt.
No, I haven't yet. No, not yet.
There's a couple running backs that's still down the line too, Chase.
Yeah,
you put it on your page.
Yeah, Zach Charbonnet. There's a kid from Minnesota too. I think his name is Abraham. Something Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
He's another guy. You could look at him too in later rounds, like Algier in the 5th round, like we did last year. So that's a diamond in the rough right there potentially. You mentioned Tajay Spears, even Roshan Johnson out of Texas, the same school as Bijan. He's another kid that can tote the rock. He's another physical back. So those are my 3 that'll stand out right now as potential guys in later rounds. If Bijan's not the case at 8 for us.
If you want to get the Georgia kid from in the 4th too as well, I think he'll be there too as well. Kenny
McIntosh will be there, another speedster, definitely. With that one cut dynamic type thing.
And of course, who country mentioning Jahmyr Gibbs, who should be there in that 2nd round too as well. So many different scenarios the Falcons can go after they make that first pick. Chase, to you on Bijan, you don't want to see a running back at 8. You know how good Bijan is. You understand what's going on. You understand, who he was at college and what he can do in the NFL. But you're just going all defense. How are you feeling about Bijan being selected at 8, Chase?
I don't think it's a bad move. Like these guys said here, he's got talent. He's a top prospect for a reason. They've got him graded higher than what Gurley was coming into the draft. So, the guy's got talent. You talked about his passing or catching ability. His backfield, like Tevin Coleman was that one year, the back passes, the RPOs, all that he can do. If I'm in Terry and Smith's mind, though, I think we go possibly guard. I think it could be Peter at 8. I'm big on Tyree. I would love to see Tyree at 8, but if we go Peter, I'm not down on Peter. He could be that dominant force at your future, somebody that could fill that guard spot, and like Big Low said, somebody that could slide out and take Matthew's spot in the future. So I'm cool with that pick. But
Falcon fans, it's something to look at. It's something to look at, Falcons fans, because everybody's just so tied up on Carter. Then you're hearing about the Cardinals today where they might trade, and people's like, wait a minute, if the Falcons, maybe they're going up to 3 to get Anderson. We don't know what could happen. Maybe it's going to be Tyree Wilson. Maybe it's going to be Christian Gonzalez. And then the Bijan Robinson talks, and they're getting heavier and heavier by the day. And if you look at the Falcons roster right now, every one of these players fits in day one with the Atlanta Falcons, from Jalen Carter to Tyree Wilson to Bijan Robinson to Peter Skrowski to Will Anderson, Devon Witherspoon. These players fit into the Falcons roster right there. This is not players that's going to be sitting on your bench week 2, week 3, week 4, and you guys are wondering what's going on with the pick. These guys are ready to go. So these are some really good names that you have on your draft board. Outside of these names, there are some wide receivers that people are talking about, Quentin Johnston and the kid from Ohio State and stuff. I don't want to pronounce it. I don't want to. I don't want to butcher names. I'll just call him the kid from Ohio State. Makes it easier for me. But there's some other names too as well. But what we're talking about today: Jalen Carter, Tyree Wilson, Bijan Robinson, Peter Skrowski, Will Anderson, Christian Gonzalez. These are pretty much the names that I think you'll hear on draft night. I don't think there's another name outside of this list right now, unless it could be Devon. I got Nolan Smith in my lineup too as well, but he's slowly starting to get away from this pack of players that I'm looking at right now. The past 2 mocks that we did.
A player that's climbing is Lucas Van Ness. He's steady climbing.
Luke Van Ness, we're going to get to that. We're about to get to him shortly too as well. Bodie, this is the reason why we're doing the pop-up show, because you went ham on Bijan Robinson about the film, which you saw. You was like, bro, he woke up and the first thing he posted was like, Bijan is him. I'm heavy on Bijan. It's him. That's that guy. I'm like, bro, what happened? The podcast ain't been up but 24 hours yet.
Oh, shit.
Bodie, what's up, man? What's going on in the professor's mind with Bijan Robinson? Because now you got me thinking, bro, I want that 2-headed monster in the backfield too. Somebody's DoorDash is there. Y'all want to go?
Boo Man with the food.
Yeah, Boo Man, appreciate that.
Sheesh.
Open it. Okay.
Is
All right,
it chicken
listen.
parm? You had chicken parm
Hey.
yesterday, didn't you?
Hey, you can't have none. All right.
Yeah, Olive
No,
Garden
it's
getting all
actually
that money.
Amazon. This is crazy. Crazy. All right,
Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah.
You better get
You know they come in the middle
I
of
need
the
your
night
reference
too,
ID
right?
number, sir. It's 8:45 at night, brother.
I know, right? It's crazy.
You late.
Tell my wife to stop ordering shit. All right. All right, here we go. So, Bijan.
Bijan.
Okay. Now, mind you, I said something totally different last night on the podcast that we had. I said that we have 1,000-yard rusher. I said that I said a lot of the things that a lot of the Falcon fans are saying, but once I said that, I just something just told me. I went deeper into film. I started watching different film on different prospects after our podcast, and just start looking up the rankings and stuff like this. And man, when I turned Bijan film on, I mean, I hit the floor. I mean, it's nothing this
As
kid
Country
can't
would
do.
say, get butt naked.
Yeah. Oh, I stripped down, baby. I stripped down. It was crazy, and that's the thing. Okay, as a battered, bruised Falcon fan, I hate to say it that way. It's effed up. Star powers, is important in this league. We have a quarterback that's needs all the weapons he can get to help him succeed, right? What better weapon than the best weapon in this draft? You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking about Ritter when I, factor him in. Easy, just be easy peasy to hand it off to Bijan. Bijan runs routes like a wide receiver. He doesn't have a weakness. Like it doesn't. Like you read the strengths and the weaknesses, they're nitpicky on the weaknesses. They're nitpicky. Like they are really talking about next to nothing. Okay, like the man he graded out better than Ezekiel Elliott and Leonard Fournette, Todd Gurley. Like he's universally almost at this point considered the best player in this class. You got Team Salivate, you got McShay and Mel Kiper just salivating over the fact that what he could do for a team. And then he started popping up in Falcons mocks, right? And I'm just like, at first I was like, nah. But it's deeper than that, okay? Now, let me break it down. Algier rushed for 1,000 yards, sure. But that doesn't tell the entire story, okay? Not saying that Algier isn't. Algier is very nice. And he worked for that 1,000 yards. But he is not as the weapon that Bijan is. Let's call a spade, okay? Like I'm not gonna sit here sugarcoat and say he's he is on that level. Bijan has the chance to come in this league and, like you said, immediately become the best running back in this league. He had almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage last season, 18 rushing touchdowns. He doesn't have a weakness for me. Let me pull up this note I put down here. I mean, he's just universally he's the best prospect in this draft according to a lot of people, and that's over Bryce Young. It's crazy to say that, but yeah, because I know Bryce Young, he has it for his smarts and everything, but like it's just the weapon that we lack, the explosive weapon that I think that we lack is a player like Bijan. Now we have Kyle Pitts and we have a Drake London who is, I wouldn't say will take the top off. Okay. Bijan, every time he touches the ball, he can take the top off. Okay. Not too many teams can say they have that now. You count all 32 teams. Not too many teams have a player like that. So I'm just really in my head just thinking, okay, it's just really, I only see two outside the quarterbacks. I only see two generational other talents possibly in this draft. It's Jalen Carter and it's Bijan. Okay. They can take a team and run with it literally. Like Gurley ran that Rams team to the Super Bowl. He ran that team to the Super Bowl. Okay, that was like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever.
Yeah,
It
Todd
is
Gurley.
not.
Forgot about him.
Hey, I bet you did. I bet you did. Yeah. So, and then Ezekiel Elliott, the 7 years he was in the league. Okay, yeah, he lost his job to Pollard. I get it, but this man was worthy of that pick. Wouldn't you guys say he was worthy of that pick where he was picked earlier? in the draft?
Yeah.
Completely
And
agree.
you go back, you'll make that damn same pick again. Okay?
Hello.
There's a couple two-headed monsters who wrecked the NFL for a while. And Tyler getting 1,000 yards last season, you adding a player like Bijan Robinson and Pamela Johnson. I know. We know Pamela.
She loves
You
it.
love Bijan. You know you love Bijan Robinson. And Pam is one of the fans who got me thinking, like, let me do some real review and do some real study on Bijan Robinson. But going over Texas when it comes to running the ball, I mean, Bijan got some stats now. Career-wise, he's in a list of some pretty good running backs too over here. University of Texas. You got Dante Foreman, who's ranked number 10 career-wise rushing yards at Texas. Number 9, you got AJ Jones. That was back in like the 80s. You got Roosevelt Leaks, which was back in like the 70s. You got Vince Young too on there as well. Quarterback, Vince Young. You got Chris Gilbert on there too as well. You got Jamal Charles on the list at 5. Bijan sitting at 4. Earl Campbell at 3. Cedric Benson at 2. And Ricky Williams at 1. Wow. So Texas guys, they got a long history of putting out good running backs. So I tell you right now, if you was to get Bijan Robinson, he does fit. That's career when it comes to rushing yards at University of Texas. Single season, you got Hodges Mitchell at number 10, Cedric Benson at number 9, Roosevelt Leaks again at number 8, Bijan Robinson at 7. So once again, he's in the top 10 in single season rushing yards. And you just follow with the likes of Jamal Charles at 6, Earl Campbell at 5, Cedric Benson at 4, Ricky Williams again at 3, Dante Foreman at 2, and Ricky Williams again at 1. So I don't know who's coaching the running backs over there at Texas over them years, but they get after it.
I did want to say, Jack, one thing
Yes,
we
sir.
also have to remember is the scheme that Bijan Robinson is coming from Texas is pretty cohesive to the scheme that the Falcons run, you know, that inside to outside zone run blocking scheme. So, I mean, as far as, you know, because shouts out to old Thomas Scott in the chat. Much love to you, Bo. Rise up to her. You already know.
Rise up, brother. We're going to give you a little plug in a minute too, Thomas.
Yeah, you already know. But yeah, because he was saying, will he be able to make that jump from the college game to the NFL game? Now, I'm finna tell you something. Some guys, you know, it's not really a jump. Some guys, it's a little bit more of a skill. You know, this guy ain't jumping into the NFL. He don't got to make a jump. He's literally just gonna take a step. He just has, you know, the guy given ability to, you know, make plays. So, I mean, he's running a similar scheme, so it will make it a lot more easier. But the big question is, and Lisa asked this in the chat, Jack, I don't know if you had a chance to see it, saying that, you know, I think the Falcons, the Ravens, and the Bears were the top 3 rushing teams. Do we focus on running the ball, because the top 3 rushing teams ain't do too good last year, but the top 3 passing teams were the ones that, you know, made a deep playoff run. So I don't know what y'all think about that.
Something to look into, Bodie.
Let me speak on that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I mean, our passing game was pretty low, non-existent almost last season. I mean, you know, if we had Ritter all season, Drake probably would have clipped 1,000 yards. We had to run the ball, and it helped that our quarterback ran the ball. That helped our rushing scheme. It helped that, you know, we had a CP. It helped that after CP
we had Huntley
down,
on some plays too as well.
Oh yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah, Huntley, of course. It helped that Algier stepped up and showed out. He stepped up. Now, I'm not knocking none of them players. I'm not knocking none of that. My thing is with Bijan is home run threats. Okay, you gotta have. I think you need that to succeed. I mean, every team that wins, you have a good defense, but they have home run threats on offense. They don't just win with anemic offenses. Okay, it does not happen that way. So I mean, like I said, Big Low, you spoke on it. When we was talking about man, what were we talking about? I lost my train of thought. No, basically, I mean, it's very important to just set your quarterback. You want him to be set up for success, okay?
Yeah.
And you want to make it as easy as possible for him. So if you do that, I mean, that would definitely take a burden off. He can bust open a bubble screen and turn it into a 40-yard game. Like,
that's true.
I can't say we have too many players on our team that can do that right now.
So it's like basically like what you're saying, Bodie, is because I've seen last year. I'm trying to stay as see-through as possible. I've seen last year where there was difference. There was a difference of 4 points because we had a guy who he could get to the second level of the defense, but then whenever you just had to beat that safety, he would get tackled. So it was a 20-yard gain, and it was like a real good run. But we were on our 30-yard line. So instead of getting 6 points, we just ended up with 3 because our quarterback couldn't seal the deal. So I mean, I see where you're coming from in that regard, Bodie, and that's that's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
Falcon fans, you're getting the gem. Definitely getting a diamond when it comes to Bijan Robinson. And I know I made a post the other day with Myles Garrett doing his mock, Fox 5 Atlanta, with Luke Van Ness and so forth. And I mentioned, the stats in the past years of the defense and so forth. And it's tough to look at. But when you got a guy like Bijan Robinson, I mean, he's top 10 career-wise in rushing yards, single season, single game, rushing touchdowns, single season too as well. I mean, the kid can get after it, man. If you put him in the backfield with Algier and CP, like maybe you do want to continue building on that offense because you did so well on the defense too as well in the offseason with the free agency. You are going to pick up some defensive players as well. But if Carter's off the board and if you're looking at your draft board and your guys that you want defensively or your top 3 guys is not there and Bijan is sitting there, you might have to go ahead and get him.
Man, that sounds crazy.
Go ahead and get him.
If Atlanta takes Bijan, we might not need a wide receiver number 2. They might just roll with Matt Collins.
That's a fact.
Oh man,
they might just roll with Matt Collins there because Bijan does so much, and I know the Falcons are going to want to finish on what they what they ended with Ritter last year. Last 4 games, he only averaged, I think, was 158.8 yards, per game. I know the Falcons going to definitely want to up that, so. A guy like Bijan, who's a do-it-all back, can catch those passes out the outfield. I mean, out the back outfield. What am I thinking? Out the backfield. What am I thinking?
It's baseball season too, man.
No, man,
it is
the Braves pissed me off, man. But besides the point, no. But he could definitely catch the ball, go from 0 to 100, and that's going to look good in the stat books for Ritter, and even better for this Falcon offense, man, because everybody's so worried about them what they're going to do with the run. Now you add an element like him. Man, it's just it's sky's the limit, man. That's what I can keep it at, man. It's just sky's the limit. You add another element like him to the offense, and again, wide receivers probably not. It won't be as a pressing of a need as it is right currently. With Matt Collins at number 2, he could spell that, meaning Bijan at 8 for us.
And real quick, I want to say this. I know people just keep saying, yeah, we need a number 2. We need a number 2. We need a number 2. Our second receiving option next to Drake should absolutely, positively be Kyle Pitts. Okay?
Hello.
He should be put that man all over the damn offense. You drafted him at 4.
It is upsetting to see Kelsey and Kittle and them run around the field like how they do and not seeing the way they get the ball
out in the game. The same amount Kyle Pitts has had his whole career.
Thank you. You don't drop a guy like that at 4 to block. Get the hell out of here. You do not draft him at 4 to block.
That pissed me off so much last year, man. Inline blocking. You pick that number 4. That's what John Fitzpatrick is there for.
Thank you.
You drafted him to do the dirty work.
Now you brought Matt Collins' ass in the block.
Yeah, true.
I see that.
True. Yeah.
Most podcasts right now are staying away from the tight end room. Tight ends don't mess up now. It's podcasting. They're gonna light your ass up. They getting ready to go to the tight ends in a minute. Outside of Pitts and Janu, boy, they looking at that roster, boy. They see who's behind y'all two.
Well, having Kyle Pitts in there in line blocking is like hooking a U-Haul up to a Corvette. It don't make no sense.
God.
It baffles me. I go back and watch that tape, and yeah, coach like to run the piss at the ball, but damn it, you better throw the pitch. You drafted him. Throw the pitch. He be pitch me out here
before
like begging.
we do get to Peter Skronsky, because that's something I think Falcon fans want to talk about too as well. I mean, Will Anderson is another name too as well. Before we get up out of here, we got about 10 more minutes. Thomas Scott got a question. I think he's talking about Bijan here. Is he worth the 8th pick? Should we trade back and get more value for our pick? Will he still be on the board if we trade back? Is running back a true need? It is for me somewhere along the draft, but like Country said, who's at 10? The Eagles. They might not let Bijan.
You know what that damn Eagles GM does? He don't care. He go get the best players.
Yes, he does.
Get the best players. Okay.
Which one of these players is sliding back after 10 if he was to trade back? Is it Skronsky? Is it Bijan? He might not make it to 10, but is it Skronsky? Can Tyree Wilson slide back after 10? Can Christian Gonzalez?
I think it's Skronsky.
Yeah.
Skronsky?
Yeah.
That's the most.
Skronsky for me.
Yeah.
Tyree Wilson was. I heard a reporter today say Tyree Wilson was the #1 edge coming out of the draft.
I saw that too.
I heard Phil Sims. Was it Phil Sims who said that?
Chris or somebody.
Chris Sims.
I seen something on Twitter where they had Will Anderson number 5 as a rusher.
Okay, that's asinine.
That is very asinine.
That's crazy.
What the hell is this?
People get caught up in these 40 numbers
They
way
do,
too
man.
much, bro.
God.
Way too much. It's all about the what is it? The 10-yard shuttle.
That 10-yard split, bro.
That's it, man.
I ain't never seen nobody run 40 yards to sack quarterback.
That's a fact. Yep.
Like what he ran? He ran a 5.6. I don't know, man. That boy.
There's a reason why some players run slow and they still fast. Their game speed, you know, game speed is excellent. Yeah, not nobody run a 40 to go. No, stop.
There's some players you're looking at, like Jalen Carter's tape and even Tyree Wilson's tape. I'm looking at it like, boy, where you been? We need you over here in Atlanta. There's a couple players you're looking at on defense, like, boy, you add him to this lineup, boy, it's about to get crazy. Chat's going crazy. There's a Jaguars fan in the chat. Okay,
shout out.
There's a Jaguars fan in the chat. He is the Jaguars fan. I know this young brother right here. So
enjoy Calvin.
Before y'all really just roast this man and go hard on this man, I know this young man right here. He went to school with me. He's cool outside of being a Jaguars fan, and he's a Bama fan too as well. So he's all over the damn place. Georgia raised him. Atlanta raised this young man, but he's a Jaguars fan and he's a goddamn Bama fan. So he's all over the place. But he's in the chat trying to go at the Falcons fans. Falcon fans, just know that he's a Jaguars fan. All right, and it's really the mascot that's selling the tickets. It's really
I've
been to Jacksonville. It's that damn pool up there. They got a pool in their stadium with the little cabanas, and they got that mascot that does the 360 flips off the damn top of the stadium with the Mission Impossible rope and all that. Get him out of here. We're gonna continue with the podcast, but that Jaguars fans all over the place. Now he's talking about Trevor Lawrence or Ritter.
Oh god.
And this is the picture I believe he took at Falcons training camp on the hill when he was watching the Jaguars.
Oh, he's really trolling, man.
Oh, he's trolling. He's trolling. He was there before me.
I mean, you talk about.
Look at he's talking about. He said Etienne versus your whole backfield.
No.
Trash.
Okay, stop that. All right.
Who wants to? So we don't want to flame him up too much, but we just leave him.
I mean,
we will
you
get
talk
to the
about Trevor
chat
Lawrence
shortly.
or Ritter. It's like you look at Trevor Lawrence's first year. I mean,
Interception after interception.
I'm pretty sure after that first year, he would not have asked that question. So it's like, don't get too naked now that your team went to play.
Yeah, tell him, Lo, put their clothes on, Lo. Put your clothes on.
Oh, bro. You know, you up in the strip.
You know he's hyped to off Calvin Ridley. He's what can Ridley do? What does Ridley bring to the team? Like, get out of here.
Hopefully, does good for y'all. We need the draft pick.
I know,
man.
Falcon fans, let's go to another name here before we wrap it up. If the Falcons did call the Cardinals, another draft scenario here. Is it Will Anderson? I haven't seen too many mocks. I haven't seen too many Mel Kipers and everybody talk about Will Anderson to the Falcons.
The real conversation
getting closer
is
to draft day, so we're starting to see some names get closer to the team or who they might be selecting. but I ain't seen no Will Anderson to the Falcons. Is it possible we can land Will Anderson still in this draft? I mean, Terry's a smart man. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But Country, are you shocked to see Will Anderson if that's the pick?
I'll be shocked to see Will Anderson to the Falcons. I just don't see it happening. I mean, as far as trading up, I mean, it's kind of like I told you earlier, Jack. We're not a trade up team right now. We got way too many things that we need to be doing instead of trading up. So, I doubt that he will fall to us. I doubt he will fall past the Detroit Lions, the Arizona Cardinals. Like there's so many different things that different places that he can go. But I definitely would like to have him, but I just don't see it in our future, Bo.
Alberto, haven't seen too many mocks of the Will Anderson going to the Falcons. Falcon fans are saying, hey, if you're one of those 6 teams that called the Cardinals, it's Will Anderson. Do you see Will Anderson being a member of the Falcons on draft night, or
you mentioned the word
fans
shock?
You
mentioned the word shock, and there's always one team that shocks and just reshuffles the whole darn thing because of a player. You know, players that go ahead of their time or whatever the case is. But shock in this essence would be the Falcons trading up to number 3. And like Big Low said, man, we're not a trade up type team, but Atlanta could be in position to do that. And what's enticing is the fact that, you know, he led the NCAA in sacks the last 2 years, 34.5 sacks in total the last 2 years. But here's another thing. Dave Huxtable was hired by the Atlanta Falcons. Dave Huxtable worked with Will Anderson, defensive analyst for Alabama. And then he was hired by the Falcons. I did a video on this about 2 months ago as an insight. When I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. Are the Falcons really tipping their hand right here, hiring this guy? But there, you know, there's history with him and Nielsen. They were both at, I believe it was NC State back in the day.
Yeah, NC State,
So, you know, truth be told, he worked for Alabama. He got to see Will Anderson day in and day out. He knows this young man. He could have been, you know, already in Arthur and Terry's ear. Like, listen, draft time rolls around. I don't care what we got to do. That's the kid for this organization. It could very well happen. I wouldn't be I'd be shocked. But if it does happen, I think it would be under those parameters there, you know, crediting Dave Huxtable as the hire and getting into Terry's ear and saying, hey, listen, we have to get this kid. This kid is a game changer. And, hey, I wouldn't be mad.
Draft scenario, he's not falling to 8, so you'd have to trade up to go get him.
You have to. You absolutely have to. He doesn't fall past 3.
So draft scenario for Will Anderson, you have to trade up to go get him. Jalen Carter, do you have to trade up to go get him, or
man, he's so up and down, man. I've done mocks on my own, and it's been almost guaranteed that Carter's always been available for me in all the mocks. I mean, and you can't just base it off of, you know, a simulation or anything like that.
That's true. It's computer generated.
But truth be told, we don't know what these war rooms look like. We don't know what happened with everything with, you know, Jalen Carter. It might have soured some teams already. He could be off the top 10 or off some teams' draft boards. So I mean, if I just don't know, man. I don't see Jalen Carter really falling to us. So he probably would be another trade up scenario too. But the guy for me, if we're trading up, it has to be Will Anderson. It would be
Chase,
Will Anderson.
Will Anderson, is it possible he's a Falcon on draft night?
If you make the trade, I think if you make the trade with Arizona, you get Will Anderson. That's the only way you get it. I think if you see 4 quarterbacks come off the board and Cardinals trade with a partner that wants a QB, you'll see Will Anderson go to the Seahawks. And that could potentially push Jalen to us if the Lions doesn't grab him.
True.
Bodie 3000. We talked a lot about Carter and Christian Gonzalez and a lot of these players, but we haven't spoken much about Will Anderson because we haven't seen too many people mention Will Anderson to the Falcons. Will you be shocked on draft night if it's Will Anderson?
Yes. And this is my philosophy on trading up. You trade up to 3, you picking a quarterback. I mean, I think that's what I'm not saying we're going to pick a quarterback, but I'm saying that's a high move, even from 8 to 3. We're damn near giving up a first next year, as well as the first this year, to move up that far and that early in the draft to get a pass rusher. And it just seems like overkill to me because there's a lot of pass rushers in this draft that we can work with that got good tools and different things of that nature. So
Will Anderson?
Will Anderson is different. I will say that,
Different
but
animal.
he's a different animal. But like I said, there's a lot of good quality pass rushers that you can work with. It's just too much in my head. It's just too much to give up a first next year, a first this year, a second or a third this year. It's gonna be some kind of package like that. Especially with a team like us, we still got holes to fill, and you still want to maximize everything you can in this draft. So
That's mainly the main reason why I'm so heavy on grabbing Peter or either Tyree at 1 or at 8, because like you said, this is a deep draft, and a running back is a really, really deep class.
I understand. Yeah, but like Jack like to say, well, he go and say, oh, there's a CJ Stroud in every draft. No, they're not. There's not a Bijan in every draft either. You know,
I'm just mean off just the media hype of how they do quarterbacks. Like right now, they're probably pushing the kid from USC, they're pushing the kid from North Carolina, and right now you don't even know how they're going to play, but they're probably projected top 10 already before they even get out there on the field. And that's how it happens every year. So if Ritter does not get the job done this season, your first round pick next year is possibly going to be a quarterback. You're not getting Justin Herbert. You're not getting Joe Burrow. Those are the free agents next. You're not getting them. And if you're looking at the free agency class of quarterbacks, it's bad for next season after those guys. You're going to draft a quarterback with your first round pick next year if Ritter doesn't get the job done. Which might be. Go ahead, Country.
Which is why it might make sense to trade down this year so you could build that draft capital for next year.
Yep.
You know.
I like that. Good point. Makes sense. Point.
This is why we have Alberto from 95 North. We have Big Low Kuntry Sports in the building. Bodie and Chase from One Time for the Fan. Chat, send your questions in. We're going to get to your questions here and your comments before we go ahead and wrap up the show. Draft scenario for you, Alberto. Let's go around the table before we get to the chat here, before we wrap it up. We got about 10 minutes of grace. My esports team hasn't bugged me yet, so I'm good. We're going to get to the draft scenario. What do you see on draft night? And, of course, things will change. But what do you see so far? Is Stroud going off the board, and then Young's going off the board to Houston. Cardinals, if they don't trade, they'll probably select Will Anderson. 4, what do you got with the Colts?
Quarterback.
Yeah. Quarterback. Is it Richardson or Levis? You can either one will
those two will flop by the time draft night. Someone's going to supersede the other guy. If you're going off intangibles, you're probably going to take Anthony Richardson because I think he has a higher ceiling than Will Levis. Will Levis got just way too much weird stuff going on. I ain't ever seen nobody put no goddamn man.
I knew he was going with
and their coffee.
Banana with the peel on it.
Good, man.
But God, like the blizzy.
You know, I missed that. So he put the whole damn banana in there.
Man, that's gross,
man. Man ate the blizzy with the peel on it.
Yeah, man. So truth be told, I think that's probably the top of the draft order right there. Would be I think CJ Stroud goes number 1, Young goes number 2. If Arizona keeps their pick, Will Anderson probably will be the pick there. The Colts can't afford to make a mistake at quarterback. You already went to the Matt Ryan thing.
They've already mentioned they want a young quarterback anyway. You got to go get him.
Exactly. Wentz was a failed experience, so you got to start fresh. And pairing Anthony Richardson and the running back that they got now, Taylor, and couple that with Pittman, that's enticing right there. That's a good little trio right there to work with. So that's there. Seattle's 5?
Yeah,
that's probably it. Where the Jalen Carter or even Tyree Wilson could probably go to number 5. Who does Seattle really have as an edge rusher? Really none. So
let's just say they do go Carter.
Yep.
And who was that I was on the podcast recently that mentioned the Lions picking up the 2 cornerbacks that has starter potential, so they might not even go Christian Gonzalez too as well. They might even go Tyree Wilson or get somebody on that line, which means you might push Christian Gonzalez back.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a possibility that you can see that happen.
Carter would be a perfect fit with the Lions. You got Aiden Hutchinson. You need some push in the middle. He can generate that. So that the Lions, it could be their time to shine on defense, man. You know, they've done a great job drafting these young guys in the first rounds and stuff like that. So for sure, man, I can see Carter at 6, and he probably won't pass from there. No. Probably 6 is the ceiling right there. That's it.
Yeah,
if you want him, if Atlanta wants him, got to go trade up for him. Would you say, Will?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
I was just gonna say, he said he's only talking to top 10 teams.
Yep.
So
that's his agent willing him into the damn top 10. His agent is his tactic. It's a tactic. His agent is putting that out in the stratosphere that he's only talking to top 10 teams. So anybody outside the top 10 don't even bother to draft him.
Is D. Orland better his agent?
Sheesh.
Wow.
That D-Lit. Country, your draft scenario right now, the way you're looking at things, you see Stroud. Don't forget, Falcons fans, Carolina. You're going to play Carolina. That's a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
You have to play Arizona this year too as well. Whoever they select. I know it's not going to be a quarterback. You got to play Houston this year too as well. If they go quarterback, that's a rookie quarterback. You got to play the Colts this year. That's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
So just be prepared for this new NFL coming up this year because everybody's talking about Ritter, and Lamar. You're playing 3 rookie quarterbacks already right now this year. Don't be man. I don't want to hear that Ritter hate. Let's give Ritter the support that he needs so that way we can see this team succeed and everybody can show up at the parade and have a good time when we win the Super Bowl. Country, your draft scenario before we get to the chat here.
Man,
you
know
see
what?
Stroud first, Young, how's it going to fall where you see your guy get to 8?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like this whole. I just feel like Carolina's gonna Carolina things. I don't know what it is.
Yep.
I just really got a feeling they might go with a Will Levis.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
I could.
That would be the shock of the draft.
So they're good with the blizzy and the mayonnaise. They're good with the blizzy with the peel and the mayonnaise.
Bro,
What's he?
I mean, I don't. I mean, but if it was me, I would take CJ Stroud first.
Yep.
Then
Safe pick.
number 2, we're going with Bryce Young.
Mhm.
I really feel like Arizona's going to trade back because I feel like they're going to trade DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
So
on
I feel
draft
like
night.
they're gonna, on draft night. I feel like that's going to happen.
Who is
on draft
pulling up
night.
to 3? Is it Tennessee?
Tennessee.
I can
Somebody
see it
looking
being
for a
Tennessee.
quarterback.
I can see.
Richardson,
I can
Tennessee.
see it being Tennessee. I can see it being Tennessee,
Wow.
or it could be one of those cases where Indianapolis could move up. And I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I don't think San Francisco's content with Trey Lance. I could definitely
Brock
see
Purdy's
them
quarterback
making a
number
move.
1.
Come on, bro.
Hey, that's
Come
John
on.
Lynch. That's
Come
John
on, bro.
Lynch.
Come
John
on,
Lynch
bro.
called that.
Do you think they really believe in Brock? Do you think they get up in the morning, brush their teeth?
And
Say
Brock
what?
And put on their
Purdy's
Brock
our
Purdy
guy.
jersey.
That
Brock
damn
Purdy.
Brock
I
Purdy.
don't think so.
Come
They
on,
gotta say
bro.
the right things.
Come
Gotta
on,
say the
bro.
right thing,
Well, my
man.
friend said life is sweet in San Francisco. I guess Brock Purdy got them feeling good out there. Or Trey Lance.
man.
All I say, they got a hard choice to make, boy.
But
They
you
got
got Washington
some
picking Howell. They've already made their decision that they're going to go with the guy. I mean,
They did.
are they tight on Howell? Do you see them moving? I mean, even if you said Arizona does trade the pick, what else do you see going on after 3, 4, 5, 6? How do you get to your guy at 8?
To be honest with you, I'm gonna tell you, I see us trading down, and I see us getting a Witherspoon or a Skoronski, and I also see us getting a Kalijah Cansey early 2nd round, or trading back up into the 1st to get Kalijah Cansey and getting Jahmyr Gibbs. That would be the perfect draft for me.
Wow. Who's got that on their mock
I
right now?
like that Jahmyr. I like that Jahmyr call.
Damn, God.
Who has that on their mock? That's why we love talking with Falcon fans because everybody brings their thoughts and their opinions of what's going to happen here. And of course, they always come with the facts too as well.
Oh, you
Chase.
didn't even break a sweat saying that. You are bold, brother.
Man. That was tough, country. That was tough. Chase, your draft scenario for draft night, man. What you got?
I think if we're going overall, you got to go CJ Stroud at 1. CJ Stroud, and it would be Bryce Young. At 3, I see another quarterback. It won't be the Cardinals, I don't think, at 3. I think it'll be possibly Tennessee to take Anthony Richardson, and then the Colts grab Will Levis. What's that? And then 5 would be
5,
Seattle.
6, 7, 8. Here goes the tough part
so
now.
then Will Anderson to Seattle. And then the Lions could go anywhere. I mean, the Lions could go cornerback, running back, defensive line. Bijan could come off the board at the Lions.
I'm listening to what you're saying, Chase, and I'm sitting there at 5 like Carter's still on the board.
Yeah.
Will
And then, so
Anderson,
that'll be
okay.
at-
Tennessee traded up. Will Anderson's still on the board. Okay, so where's Carter going to fall? Next thing you know, Detroit yells Carter's name.
Carter, or they could yell that running back's name. They just lost their top running back. I don't know, man. They could go Christian Gonzalez as well. So let's say the Lions take Jalen Carter at 8. I'm going Christian Gonzalez.
How big is that?
You still got Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson's still on the board as well.
Damn.
Country, how big is that? Lions shock everybody and go Bijan at 8. Bijan at 6.
Bijan and DeAndre
No Jamal
Swift.
Williams. Mm-hmm.
That's a tandem.
That's nasty right there.
Who's sitting at 7? The Raiders. So what the
are
Raiders doing now?
That's
See, that's
the Raiders.
That's the
Raiders
thing.
just
Raiders
about
could go for
everything, man.
QB. Raiders going QB, I believe. Raiders
Well, you
are
got
the team
if
who
and that's
trade
the
up with
truth,
the
Chase.
Cardinals.
Richardson is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Stroud is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Levis is
Hooker.
gone. And Hooker's going to slide up to the – or
He
you,
could.
Let the Raiders Raider.
Let the Raiders
And
Raider.
get a Hendon Hooker. Yeah.
Just
I
lose,
can
baby.
see it.
Just lose.
God, just
For all we
lose.
know, they might take Miles Murphy. You know they like Clemson defense.
You know they do. That is true. That is true. I just
Man.
got an alert that Miles Murphy is visiting us tomorrow. So.
No, thank you. Please
Really?
pass on that.
Well, look at
Lock the
that.
doors. Flowery branches.
Old Terry. I'm sure they met with Will Levis today outside the facility. They're like, "Nah, you can't come inside with that banana stuff you got going on." Bodie, your draft scenario before we get to the chat and we can get up out of here. What do you see draft night right now?
Okay. So I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't know who's going number 1. But if the Panthers are smart, they'll pick the top 2 quarterbacks, CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. So 1 and 2, they're going 1 and 2. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a given. 3 could be a wild card that could shake the whole draft up. I know we've been saying that. But as of right now, I pencil in Will Anderson. But anybody can trade up and a quarterback can be thrown in there. And then we know another quarterback's going at 4. But, I'll go as is on the board right now. So we got Will Anderson at 3. Let's say Anthony Richardson at 4.
Mm-hmm.
At 5, I'm thinking we're going Jalen Carter probably. They're linking him to Jalen. They're linking Seattle to Jalen.
Heavy.
Falcon
6,
fans, listen to this. Carter is
6.
probably going to be off the board. 24 hours has
Probably.
changed for most of
Probably.
us here on the podcast. It sucks to hear it,
It
but we have
does.
to talk about it.
As
Go ahead.
bad as I want Jalen Carter, yeah, it sucks to hear that, but I gotta be real. 6 Lions, they're going defense. The defense was ass. The defense. I promise you, they're going defense. I put money on it. I put my check on it. They're going defense. They suck. So I
They shake the whole
give them-
draft up.
Any Lions
Yeah.
fans in the chat?
they can go from Hey. I mean, it was really bad. They could go from Tyree Wilson to Christian Gonzalez, I think. So it'd be one of those picks. I'll pencil it in for Tyree Wilson now. 7, the Raiders. They just signed Jimmy to an extension, if I'm not mistaken, or signed him.
They can sign him. Yeah.
They signed him, and then he signed for like 3 years. I just looked it up. They signed him, so Jimmy is the guy for the future. I hate it, but it's
They're
what it is.
unpredictable too. They could trade up.
They could cut him tomorrow, okay? But
For sure.
that's the thing. So at Raiders at 7, shit, I don't know. Raiders are Raider and pick a Skoronski at 7. I don't know. That's a wild card. It's literally a wild card.
It's possible. We can go with that.
I'll give them Skoronski. All right. So at 8, we got a situation here. It's looking
Here it comes now. Carter's gone.
He's about to say
Carter's
Bijan.
gone.
It's-
Exactly. I mean, at this point, I'll say Christian Gonzalez. I guess it's a safe pick. He's been mocked to us in damn near every mock that I've seen. Okay, it's Christian Gonzalez. I don't hate that pick. I promise you, I don't hate it. It's the best cover corner in this draft. I said it. I said it yesterday. I said it today. So at this point, right now, until Coach Smith comes out and says we want to run the piss out the ball, it's gonna be Christian Gonzalez right now. So y'all got Christian for me right now.
Cool.
Falcon
Roll with
fans,
that.
we are rolling tonight on One Time for the Fan. We're going to hit to the chat real quick before we get
What you
out
got
of here.
What's your draft?
I see the quarterbacks going CJ Stroud first, Bryce Young to Houston, which I'll be surprised if Houston just says Jalen Carter number 2. Like, where the hell?
Oh,
what
shit.
the hell just happened? That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But I see the quarterbacks going 1 and 2.
No.
Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, 3. Arizona, that's where that Will Anderson comes in for me. If they don't trade, I can see them going Will. 4, that's where Richardson or Levis comes in. 5, Seattle. Sucks to say it, man. I want to say Tyree Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
If not, we'll say Seattle. Let's say Christian Gonzalez 5. Detroit, Tyree Wilson. This is how I get Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez 5. Tyree Wilson 6. Raiders go get the other quarterback, Levis or Richardson, whoever swapped there.
Mm-hmm.
And Carter's sitting at 8.
Woo.
Yeah.
And then you get Carter. You didn't have to trade, didn't have to do anything.
sounds
It
good,
happens.
That
If
would be
Carter
ideal.
is gone, any one of those 3 picks between 5 and 8, I'm cool with. You can flip for Tyree, you can flip for Christian, you can flip for any one of those 3 picks is fine. The running back comes in, I'd love to trade back. If you might not make it to 12, 14 for Bijan, but
He ain't gonna make
if
it.
not,
past the
it could be
Eagles.
Peter Skrowski, but that's how you fall to Carter. That's how Carter falls to 8 to me.
And that's
how things are
scary.
set up.
Equipping the Eagles with a weapon like that
In the NFC.
In the
We'll have to see them in
NFC,
playoffs.
yeah, exactly.
We're gonna see them. We're gonna see them in the playoffs probably.
That's tough. You might just pick them just so they ass won't get them.
I don't think so, man. I think the Eagles lost too much, man, to even be back in it, man.
Yeah, they need
I feel
defensive
that.
line.
They need
help.
too much defense, man. They lost 7 starters on that defense.
They lost
Mhm.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Them
they
guys
have
want to
7
get
draft
paid.
picks? I mean, I don't know what they got. It's gonna be hard to replace everything that they lost.
I think they got 2 firsts, if I'm not mistaken. They
Yeah,
do
listen
have
to the
2
chat.
firsts. They have a
Thank
10. They have 10, and they have 30th.
God damn it.
Who we got here? Jibri Harper is in the building. He said, I'm hoping Jalen Carter slide, but I can see the Seahawks or Lions taking him.
I can.
I can. Yeah.
Now look at the fan opinions here, Falcon fans who's here in the chat. A lot of people's gonna be giving their opinion, so just have some respect for everybody. I know people's gonna say, "Nah, man, Bijan's not that guy. Nah, man, Luke Vettis is not that guy." Everybody has their
Everybody's
opinion. Just
entitled.
respect. Everybody's entitled to it. Jordan's in the chat. He said, "We're not getting Carter. He gone. Pick 4 or 5. He's out of here." Jordan's already faced the facts. He's like, "Look, Carter's not here. We're going somebody else."
That's the best way to think. So it would be a surprise if he slipped to you, not expecting him to slip to you. You know.
Mhm.
Bubba Gumpus in the chat. We said Levis puts mayo in his coffee and eats bananas without peeling them. That's serial killer behavior. I hope there's not a Hulu doc coming out 10 years from now about Will Levis. That'd be out there. That'd be out of control. Drees in the chat. He said, I can see Carolina going Levis or Richardson.
Yeah,
At one,
Richardson.
that'd be
I can see him going.
That's what
Richardson.
Country
Crazy.
said. Carolina's going to Carolina.
Yeah.
I hope so. What did Kodak Black say? I hope so. I hope so.
Oh, man.
LJ, you guys think LJ will go to the Colts on draft night?
Mm.
Lamar Jackson?
No,
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
Doubt it.
I can't see it.
Maybe either.
He's staying in Baltimore, man. He got his receiver.
Yeah.
Falcon fans, we are deep. We're having a good time. Millie Mills is in the chat. Hope he
Millie
has fun
Mills.
with Scary Ridley. You know them Jaguar fans are getting roasted here in the chat. Falcon fans are going at him. It is what it is. We had too much fun tonight, y'all. It was a pop-up show too as well. I thank everybody for being a part of this show because when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons, we got when it comes to the fan base.
There you go.
And you know, if the Falcons get rolling this year, every one of these people right here on this panel is going to have the most positive content to push when it comes to talking about what the Falcons are doing. Even if they're losing too as well, they're going to try to find ways to make sure the fans are still engaged and still showing up at the games and trying to do the best they can to let the fans see that the Falcons still have a good team somewhere in that organization. Even if they're losing, they still have a good team. They just have to find a way to get on the right path and start winning. And it's been what, 5 years now? Losing record,
Yes.
losing.
Yeah.
This is
I'm tired of losing. I
Me
want
too.
some
Can't have it.
explosiveness. I want some explosiveness on defense, on offense, everywhere. I just I'm tired. I'm tired.
I think this is the year that we see the turnaround. I honestly do.
Best
Ritter's
time to
the
do
QB
it.
one.
Best time to do it.
What can we do now, folks? We all we got. Country. Before we get up out of here, just let folks know where they can find you. When's your next podcast? What you got going on this season? I know Old Country Boy got a lot going on, especially with the Rise Up tour. We're gonna give our little plug to that too shortly.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Hashtag Rise Up Tour. Hashtag one time. You know, hashtag fan club. But hey, man, my name is Big Low Country. I'll make sure that y'all check us out. Big Low Country Sports. I'm gonna try to go live like on Wednesday. So, we'll chop it up and see what we got going on. But yeah, y'all make sure that y'all check us out. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Smoke Signals, Telegrams, anything.
Sheesh.
He's plugged in everything.
Not smoke signals. Okay, Batman. God damn.
Oh man.
Alberto.
Yes, sir.
Once again, man, you do a great job over there on your channel. You also got your boy Smitty as well over there holding it down.
Shout out Smitty.
Are you a member of Southern Silk? Have they been?
Yeah.
So you are a member of Southern Silk.
I am a member.
Yeah.
There's a fierce battle, the competition with the vocals and all that.
I mean,
man.
not really.
Because the Shade
really.
Room just posted that the main singer of Southern Silk said he's going solo soon. So what's going on with that?
I don't know what the turmoil is, man. It's all love, man. We all break it down. We all say our things, man. I don't know. There's no reason to leave, man. The grass is greener over here, brother. Stay here. We're good. We are good. We're a solid unit, man.
I know old Bo ain't finna turn into Bobby Brown. I'm leaving you suckers. I'm out of here. David Ruffin. Ain't nobody come see you. Ain't nobody come see you, Alberto.
It's more like Cisco.
Oh man.
Alberto, what you got? What you got going on there at your end, brother? I'm sure leading up to the draft, you have a lot more content being pushed out. The YouTube shorts being pushed out. You're on Twitter daily. What you got going on, brother?
Yeah, I'm sticking it, pretty much with the shorts right now. Just giving a couple points, just thoughts on certain players as we lead up to the draft. Typically every Tuesday, I'm live with my boy Smitty. So shout out to Smitty. And I don't know what we're gonna be cooking up tomorrow, man. It's like the news is like far and few in between. So we'll see. We'll try and get creative as we can so we can come out, be live and just try to entertain the folks as we normally do on a Tuesday night. But yeah, definitely, just look out for some more content on certain players. Jonathan Mingo's, I'm working on his wide receiver out of Ole Miss. He's starting to, creep up. So I'm gonna do a quick little video on him, give you some insight on him. And yeah, man, next time you can catch me is probably tomorrow night around 8:00. Myself and Smitty will be on YouTube, and we're just rocking it out, man. Seeing what we can come up with.
Falcon fans, this is great. This is what happens when you turn 30 minutes into an hour and some change. But at the end of the day, every person right here that you're watching or listening to wants to see the Falcons win. And I'm sure if you're watching or listening to, you want to see the Falcons win. Otherwise, than that Jaguar fan in the chat. But he got lost. But don't worry. That band button heavy. Just be careful, Jonell. That band button heavy. If you wasn't a sneakerhead, I'd ban you when you dropped the first comment. But you're a big time sneakerhead, and I respect that. But diehard Atlanta Falcon fans, like I said, we got. Once again, shout out to Big Country, shout out to Alberto, shout out to my boy Chase, shout out to my boy Bodie. Rise Up Tour.
Yes.
For those that do not know, we got a lot going on. In Country, we have a podcast coming up with the Rise Up Tour. We have our schedule release because we have a lot going on when it comes to the away games.
It's going down.
It's going down in a major way. And I've already spoke to Thomas. And I believe Arizona's already taken care of.
What?
You already know.
What in the world, Bo? I just know no Thomas.
Hold on. About to drop the hammer on you. I think New Orleans taken care of too.
What in the world, Bo?
I tell you, we 2 for 2. Hold on now. We done been to Jacksonville before, so I think Jacksonville's taken care of too as well.
No.
Damn.
Don't forget about our annual bus trip to Carolina that we do every year. So
wait a minute, they might not know.
I think Carolina's taken care of too.
They might not know about the annual bus trip to Carolina.
The annual bus trip to Carolina. I think last year, host 55. We had 75 people. We couldn't even get everybody on the bus.
Man, it was on a party.
We tried to get a second bus. We told y'all, hey man, look, put your deposit in quickly so we can get a second bus. But it was just too late. 55 diehard Atlanta Falcon fans on a bus to Carolina, food and drinks included, to the game and back.
Hello.
Man.
That's
The
it.
I
Rise
gotta
Up tour.
relocate.
Can't
Goddamn
beat
it.
We're going. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. He's he's in the chat. Bam. Thomas Scott
There
said
he
done.
is.
Done.
Man, myth, legend.
Done.
That's
Now
Man,
don't
myth,
forget,
legend. Hold on,
we
but
are
I heard
heading.
that
Go ahead.
Tennessee's done too, right?
Were you supposed to say that? Oh. Can we
What?
say that?
My bad.
Damn.
My bad.
Now we got text Thomas.
Oh,
So
man.
Falcon
Like
fans, if you
Christmas,
don't know
man.
about the Rise Up tour, we have one of the admins here on the panel. We have Mr. Big Low Kuntry Sports. Thomas Scott is in the chat. We are doing our best when it comes to putting on these events for the away games for the Falcons. And when I tell you we have a good time, we have a good time. Country, you saw it in New Orleans.
Bro.
Bodie, you saw it in New Orleans. And guess what, Alberto? We're coming to New York. So we're bringing
I'm
the party
there.
your way.
I'm there. I'm
Be
only
very prepared.
3 hours
for
and
this.
10 minutes away from MetLife Stadium. I am there.
So when it comes to the Rise Up tour, we're talking about hotels.
Let's go.
We're talking about where to meet up for breakfast, where to meet up for lunch, where we can go and hang out during the day. We're talking about meet and greets the day before the game, even Friday night dinner if you want to meet up, something for that. We're talking about putting together a whole itinerary of something for Falcon fans to do and have a good time. It started with 2 people. Now we're over 1,100 members in the group. And we travel to Falcons games. When I tell you we show up and we show out, we show up and we show out. Country, real quick, can you give the story of New Orleans? You was heading to the meet and greet, and you said it was a line at the door. Is that what's happened? Because apparently this club, it doesn't even. I have never seen a line at this door before.
Razoo,
I walked right in,
bro. It was a line at the door. But the thing is, Thomas and Jack, like they had the club on lock. I was like, well, what in the world, bro? I mean, look, it was in there partying. And it was the most beautiful scene. They took down all the New Orleans stuff. It wasn't nothing but Falcon stuff all over, hanging over the balconies and everything. But I'm gonna tell y'all something that's even more crazy though, is that it's not just about partying for the Rise Up tour. It's also about the things that they do in the community.
That's true.
You know, we do a lot of different things in the community, and we're gonna be doing a lot of different things. Hopefully across the country, man. It's gonna be beautiful.
We have a cruise too.
Got a cruise
coming up,
man.
Got a
the
cruise.
Rise Up tour,
Birdo.
Sun and Fun cruise.
Showing out.
You can put
Kill
your
the
$50
guns.
deposit in soon because I believe the deposits are going to be done around the middle of May. The Ocean View rooms are starting at $360. The balcony starting at $445. This for next summer.
Man, go ahead and drop that Cash App so I can go ahead and shoot.
I'm telling you right now, the Ocean View room starting at $360. The balcony starting at $445. I got the info right here. The Rise Up Tour Sun and Fun Cruise, June 28th through July 1st, 2024. You're going to be sailing out from Port Canaveral in Florida, Nassau, Bahamas. You're going to be heading out to all this fancy stuff. I don't know where all these young kids go and all did the young kids do. They partying on the boat. Got to get in my Judge Joe Brown voice when I'm talking about the cruise. But, it's going to be fun.
Oh, man.
Final payment is due April 14th, but I'm sure Thomas can work something. So hit up the Rise Up Tour on Facebook, Rise Up Tour away games only, and find out some more information about the cruise. Schedule drops May the 11th. I believe right now there's only like 15 rooms left. Like Falcon fans are booking up from the Rise Up Tour. So this is going to be a cruise for Falcon fans. And I went on that Super Bowl cruise with the Cowboys fans a couple years ago. For some strange reason, I don't know, they had their party the same time I decided to go on the cruise. But, man, they took over that whole damn boat. So I expect the Falcon fans to do the same thing on this cruise next summer. Bodie and Chase, you guys were also there in New Orleans for the Rise Up Tour. We had some away games to go to this year. Give us your shout-outs and just your thoughts about the Rise Up Tour, too, as well. Chase?
Oh, man, New Orleans was my first trip with the Rise Up Tour, and I must say it was everything Jack hyped it up to be. The line was definitely out the door, down Bourbon Street, all the way to the next restaurant down the block. We got in the club, and it was packed. Nothing but Falcon fans. Lit experience. Definitely going to redo it. Just want to give a shout out to Big Low, Alberto. Appreciate y'all coming in, giving us y'all
Thank you,
stats.
man. Yeah, man.
Appreciate Bodie. Appreciate Jack.
Bodie 3000, the professor. You was also part of the Rise Up Tour. You said it this year. That was your first away game too, as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
First ever away game. And I
Same,
showed my
same.
royal ass. I was in there being ignorant. I was like,
I don't blame you.
when I was like, oh, when the Falcons go
Oh,
marching in,
my
like
God.
I was being very, very ignorant.
I
had a
match
lot of
that
fun,
energy. I match
Yeah.
that energy. When
I
I
am
go.
that. I'm that guy.
Me too. It's documented. I got video where I'm arguing with like personnel members that work for the stadiums in Philly, Washington, New York. I argue with everybody. Oops.
I will put this out there now because it comes to the game. I mean, Bodie, we sat on the Saints side for the game. We was talking
We
shit
was
the
on
whole
the
game.
Saints
I ran nothing but Saints the whole game.
I'm talking about we talking shit, but they're corporate
I had
now.
so
They got
much
PSLs
fun.
in that area, so they're
Yeah.
like, Falcon fans, I'll
Yes.
just eat my crawfish at you.
Oh,
Did you guys try the shrimp over there by the Cafe Du Monde?
they
They don't deal with that type of stuff no more. They're like real laid back now. But
Yeah.
we have so much going on with the Rise Up Tour. Anybody who's interested in being in a suite this year at an away game, hit me up.
Let's do it.
Anybody interested in being in a suite at an
Bro.
away game this year?
As soon as those details come out for the New York
me
game,
know.
if you guys make it up here, just let me know.
We're
Fact.
going to every single away game this year.
I'm
The Rise
there.
Up Tour does not play. Thomas he's ready. We're talking about
man.
Arizona and all these other cities. I don't want to take up too much time, but we're about that life when it comes to traveling on the road with the Falcons.
Oh, I love you.
The yacht party in Miami with Pastor Troy performing around the port of Miami. Yeah.
Well, that's another thing at Razzles. Patrick Troy pulled up and did a great live performance.
Oh yeah, Pastor Troy pulled up at Razzles too as well. We called him over and told him, if you're around the way, pull up. He hit Thomas up like, bro, I'm walking through the door right now. Shout out to the Malone family too who stepped in.
Yeah.
The party in LA. Shout out to the Jarrett family who drove by too as well. We're linked now. We have fun at these parties now, and plus we can always make sure that the area that we're in is a nice area. We're gonna have some type of drink special, something going on where everybody's gonna have a good time. They can meet and greet. They can talk to some Falcon friends and family, and then once they leave out, they can go about their way. So shout out to the Rise Up Tour for everything that they do. Look out for the Rise Up Tour podcast coming when the schedule drops. Country, Alberto, Chase,
Yes,
and Bodie, I thank you all for being a part of this podcast tonight, and every
No
Falcon
doubt.
fan in this chat too as well.
course.
Draft night is big, so let's just see what the Falcons do, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bodie, we good?
Oh, we good, man. I got a boo man upstairs. He fixing on my closet. So,
God,
hey.
tell him when he finish. The deck needs a couple more nails in it too as well. I see it's starting to lean to the left, rock to the right. All right, y'all.
Shout out to everybody, man.
Shout out to
Appreciate
everybody,
y'all,
man.
man.
One
Thank
time
you
for
for
the
the
fan.
invite.
Big Low Kuntry Sports on YouTube, 95 North, Alberto. Check them out on Twitter too as well. I'm talking about diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. Chase, y'all rise up, man.
Yes, sir. Rise
Thanks,
up.
man.